This is part 2 of the Future Marshes tutorial. If you have not watched part 1, you may want to do that first. You should now be familiar with the general navigation of the Future Marshes tool, including how to view the reports generated for your site of interest. Let's continue looking more in depth at the topics offered in the Future Marshes tool. Now say you want to know if your site will support tidal marsh bird species into the future. When you first open the map, the default will be to elevation. We have already navigated to the Sonoma Baylands. As you click through the years, you can see how the site supports mid-marsh elevation through the century under the lower rate of sea level rise. After initially viewing the elevation, you can investigate the predicted bird response. Click here to switch to birds, then select one of the 5 tidal marsh species. The distribution and abundance of the 5 species were modeled in response to sea level rise and changes in salinity throughout the estuary. You will see the colors explained in the legend on the right side, and units are in birds per hectare. The information displayed under the search bar changes with your selection as well, now displaying the number of black rails per hectare for the given pixel. For the sediment-rich Petaluma River area, marshes keep pace with sea level rise and should support good numbers of tidal marsh birds into the next century. Let's look at a site where changes are more pronounced. In the South Bay, at sites such as the recently restored Knapp Track, sediment availability plays a larger role than in the North Bay, and the model shows that it can make a difference of whether a site will be mudflat or mid-marsh. This habitat change will greatly impact the bird species it can support, and birds, like Ridgway's rail, are less likely to colonize the site in a scenario with the high sea level rise and low sedimentation. You can visualize these trends using the report function as well. Simply click Get Report, then click on the site. Within the report for the Knapp Track, you can see the effect of sedimentation and sea level rise laid out in graphs. In the graph depicting high sedimentation and high sea level rise, and the one showing high sedimentation and low sea level rise, in both cases the site remains majority mid-marsh, the dark green color, through the century. Therefore, the corresponding bird graphs in the report below the sensitivity graphs show that the abundance of all 5 species stays relatively stable through the century. However, with the 165 centimeter scenario, the higher rate of sea level rise, with low sedimentation, the marsh cannot keep pace with sea level rise, and the graph shows mudflat, the brown color, through the century. The corresponding bird graph shows all species remain in low abundance before decreasing further by 2100. With a 50 centimeter rate, the low modeled rate of sea level rise, and low sediment availability, marsh accretion rates are slower, and the graph shows that low marsh is created by 2070. In the corresponding bird graph, for the first 3 time steps, when the majority of the site is mudflat, tidal marsh species are in low abundance, showing the greatest increase in 2070 when the necessary low marsh habitat is created. The model also includes updated organic accumulation rates. More information on the regional differences can be found in the About the Map section. The reports are generated with the organic accumulation value set to low. It is important to remember that the DEM is based on 2010 elevations and does not account for management actions taken after 2010 to raise bed elevations or accelerate accretion. The tool can be used, however, to show what sites may require such actions to keep pace with sea level rise. If you know your site's current elevation differs from the DEM, you can find a site nearby with the correct elevation and assess its trajectory as a proxy for your site. Just make sure it's in a region with the same sediment assumptions. Now let's explore the conservation prioritization feature. The darkest areas you see in the map are the most important for maintaining habitat quality and connectivity into the future across all scenarios. We used a conservation prioritization software called Zonation, which ranks each pixel for its conservation value, based on models of the abundance of 5 species of tidal marsh birds. By synthesizing information from multiple species and across all scenarios and time steps, the prioritization map can be used to make decisions that are robust to uncertainty. Each pixel's rank reflects the importance of the surrounding habitat for the 5 indicator species of a healthy tidal marsh ecosystem. The scale goes from 0 to 1, with 1 being the highest value, indicated by the darkest color. We downweighted future scenarios where there was high uncertainty in the projected bird abundance. To show the restoration potential across the entire landscape, all areas are assumed to be open to tidal action in 2010, even if they are currently behind levees. The rankings for these areas should be compared to one another when prioritizing sites for restoration. You can view the prioritization topic several ways. One is to view a larger scope, focusing in on areas in your region that scored higher. You can see that areas with elevations at or near mid-marsh levels are high priority conservation areas. These areas, shaded in the darker colors, are where you may consider prioritizing management, making land acquisitions, or focusing adaptive management strategies. The lighter colored areas should not be abandoned, however. They just may require more active management, like depositing sediment, to increase the site's resilience to sea level rise. You can also see how a site you manage ranks with all other sites in the estuary. Click the report for that site, and you will get 2 scores. The tidal marsh conservation value, which is the sum of the values from the zonation prioritization within the site. These values range throughout the estuary from less than 1 to close to 3,000. We also show the site's rank relative to all other sites on the map, with 100 being the highest. And because larger sites potentially can have higher conservation values simply because they are bigger, the tidal marsh conservation value is also scored per acre, which is the conservation value divided by the area of the site in acres. The summed value is still relevant, however, as a larger marsh inherently provides more habitat and should be considered in the prioritization. You can click on these headings, indicated by blue boxes within the report, to get more information. By using all the topics available in the Future Marshes tool and analyzing changes in species distributions under the different future tidal marsh elevation scenarios, we can test how sensitive species are to climate change and how best to create the most robust future conditions for our bay tidal marshes to thrive. With this knowledge, you, land managers and planners, can make informed conservation decisions throughout the estuary, planning in the face of an uncertain future. Thank you for listening and exploring Point Blue's Future Marshes tool. We welcome your questions and feedback. Click on the feedback link on the landing page or email Point Blue staff.